That's fading away. That doesn't mean it won't come back.
Yeah, me and Ed could barely talk over him.
K6USY mobile on the 5-5.
Oh, my phone just notified me.
And I hear you, KB6GFD, getting ready to start it.
Very good. I will take an SWL 52 early check-in. K6USY mobile.
All right, copy. KB6GFD.
Must be up and running on YouTube.
We're up and running somewhere. All right, my J38 key just broke. Now it's good.
You need a new one.
You are absolutely correct. So, I don't know. Maybe that'll be my job tomorrow is go order one.
The SS3.
It's the one that's got the two cables that I don't need it for the amp, but it keys the amp or the radio.
Oh, the SS7.
When I had a relay amp, I needed that. All right, stand by.
Standing by.
Hey, Captain, 065. Hello. Can I sit instead of standing? Hello.
I think this is the Old Tube Radio Network.
TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
And as X4000 has appropriately mentioned, this is the Old Tube Radio Network, OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark on your Saturday evening, something that has been happening here in the Central Valley of California on Channel 11 on Saturday evenings beginning at 8 p.m. since around 1986 or so. Our shortwave listeners and the tube radio operators gathering together to provide you with the sound of 11-meter radio back in that day when the radios were all aglow. And we will be chatting with our tube radio collectors tonight, see what kind of radios we can stop by. Maybe we can help them with a microphone check. Maybe they will educate us as to how these radios operate. It's always a fun thing to do. Your Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, my name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair. And I'm here tonight with the crew here at the Old Tube Radio and Net Control, such that it is, and we will be checking everybody in. The skip is waning a bit. We've had a lot of Midwest, the South Pacific, the Pacific, mini grass down under, and we'll see if we can't get some local stations in as well. Before I get started too far, let me see if there are any stations that would like to get an early check-in. I have a couple already, but anyone on the air would like to get it checked in early through the skip. Over.
24.
All right, I've got SWL 24. Joseph, we've got you checked in. Have a great evening and stay cool. Over. Who else? Over.
Brake channel.
The brake channel, go ahead.
You gotta recognize it. You know who out here in the north end? The mayor of Pinedale Controls checking in.
All right, Pinedale, just under the water tower. Is there still a water tower out there somewhere? We've got you checked in. Back to the fun on Saturday evening. Thanks for stopping by.
10-4, and yes, there is one water tower left in us. Y'all have a good one and a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, we should be here. We should be here. How about anybody else wanting an early check-in?
Yeah, good evening there, Dennis. I'd like to check in. Bel Air 553 checking in early, and you guys have a good Mother's Day, and I'm back. Dennis, 53's out there.
All right, we got 53, Mr. Bel Air, the legend. I've got you checked in. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, sir.
Also, SWL 111, Robert checking in via Facebook. SWL 68 checking in at oldtuberadio.net. And SWL 52 checking in moments ago on the Crossband Radio. And also 128 had a long day. He's got an early day tomorrow, so we will get 128 checked in from afar. Anybody else before we get going in on the roll call here?
Yeah, Dennis, this is Dennis out here, and come on down.
All right, out there, way out there, Dennis, we've got you. Mr. Prune Picker 96, we've got you checked in. Over.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Dennis. Have a great weekend.
All right, very good. Also, we'll get Brown Dog Audio, Mr. BDA 57 checking in. We've got you. Over. And let's see, let's get Van Man checked in. Checking on the skip. Yeah, the skip that way is down. If you're in Hawaii, we'll hear you. All right, we'll get started here. We'll try to get started anyway. SWL 00, who may or may not be hearing me with all the skip land. Hello, up there in Course Gold. Over.
Go to your...
Now there's another Course Gold staking. Go ahead, Tony. Over.
Okay, Dennis, can I get an early check-in, please?
Yeah, we will get you checked in, no problem, through the noise here. Over. All right, 145. Tony, you are checked in. Got you checked in, Tony.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and have a great show tonight.
All right, that's right. Mothers are coming up. I also want to get, thanks, Tony. I also want to get Neil, SWL 147 in Kakalaki checking in where the weather is nice and some decent conditions on the bands. Been hearing Australia and New Zealand for bits. We hear them all the time, but for them to make it across out that way is a good thing. Entire West Coast coming back, so no chance for us. That's for sure. All right, we got 147 checked in. Thank you, Neil. All right, here we go. 00. I'll put a proxy in for 00. He's going to be around somewhere. SWL number 1, the guy that gets a check-in because he can do it that way. SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, checking in early. I don't know if his radio room is air-conditioned or not. He was in early, but it might have stepped out. But Kevin is over on the video chat if you want to say hello, radio. SWL 3. Shortwave listener 5. I do have Mr. Rainmaker with an X in the square. Thank you, Levon, for joining us here. Was that a breaking station? Over. Okay, there's 00. I know it's hard to get through the noise, but I do hear you. Over. Okay, and we'll also pick you up at the end of the roll call as well if you are around. It's hard to get through. All right, might be doing a live check-in tonight from the old radio night, which is still up and running. I was out at a function, so I got in late. I wasn't able to join in on old radio night tonight, but I will give them a hello radio just to let them know that we are up and running. It's on the Eagle, the Mark III tonight with reverse preamp. So stand by, you guys out there in Kakalaki. Let's go to SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
SWL7. Got to get back to my big board here and put the X in the square. Sounding good. I hope I'm making it through the noise.
Yes, you are making it 1 mile, no problem.
Okay, good deal. And I've got to check my receive audio too on the big Orban meter. So sounding good. SWL 10, looking for Chrissy, hey, there they are, right there on time. Thanks, Chrissy. I just had to look, and there you were. I'll get you and Dwayne checked in from the beautiful Idaho. The Jumping Dolphins. I will never miss, even if I squinting. I will not miss the Jumping Dolphins for sure. SWL 11 and SWL 12. That's of course in order. Dan, Mr. Cornbread, and Dapper Dan. Checking in tonight. What picture? What? Oh no, I've got it correct. Always have to check I'm looking pretty good tonight. I'm okay. Dapper Dan, I'm giving you a run for your money tonight, and I've got the the cooling system working. Worked on that today, so there's a little bit of breeze going by, but I bet it's still 85 degrees here in here amidst all the tubes. But looking good. I don't hear any bad things happening on the condenser microphonium, so that's a good thing. Got you all checked in, thanks. Olay, we are looking for SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. And Mike often checks in at oldtuberadio.net, so keep an eye out there. Various ways to stop by and say hello, radio. So whatever works for you will work for me. Let's go to out to Sangertown, SWL 14. Nothing heard through the skip, but we'll be back. Joining us in the studio here tonight, just behind, right over there, just behind the camera. Charlie is listening in tonight, saying hello, radio. All is looking well. Yeah, thanks for you guys working on the cooling here. It's a little better. It's a little better than it was last week. Of course, everybody's out by the pool having a good time, but that's okay. We are here in the air chair doing what we do best. SWL 17. SWL 18. I've got Mr. KDA checked in from the Facebook page. From Derby, New York, by way of Belfast, Maine, and everything else. Of course, Chet is right there with the cue cards tonight, and trying to get my attention when I'm supposed to be actually doing something other than what it is that I'm currently doing. So if you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking for my direction. I cannot make it without those guys. Let's go to SWL 20. And Harvey might be listening in on the Universal Media NetWeb device, meaning there's a bit of a delay. But Harvey, if you are around, I'm getting you checked in because I did speak with you live and direct earlier, so I know you're there. All right, we'll try the feedback loop that gets everybody, puts everybody into a tizzy here. But this will be, we're going to go live out to, if I can hit the right button here, we're going to go live out to Old Radio Night, where the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III is looking good. They'll bring up the picture. There it is. Looking good. And we're going to bring up the audio. I hope we won't get feedback. Oh, the audio should be up. Oh, you know what? Through the noise, but I do hear you over. All right, I'm going to have to refresh the page because I think. And we're going to bring up the audio. Okay, there we go. So we're looking for a check-in live and direct. Through the noise, but I do hear you over. I'm going to have to refresh the page. All right, here we go. We're going to bring up the audio. Okay, there we go. So stand by for a check-in here. I think we're on the big feedback loop. Stand by for a check-in here.
SW.
I know it's difficult.
WL number 21 checking in.
All right, that's what we were listening for.
Jed's gonna check in.
All right, we got a radio check-in.
Go ahead, Jed.
Okay, we got that check in. I know it's a cacophony of sounds here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Listening live and direct to Old Radio Night out in Kakalaki. I think we got everybody. All right, let me turn down the sound. Let me get the photo back, but we did good. I did hear you there, 21 for the live and direct check-in. I don't know of anybody that's doing that on Citizen Band Radio, checking in across the states, across the USA, on a simultaneously and at the same time dual live video feed. Okay, let's get our ears back to normal here. Let's see if Tyler's out and about. SWL 22.
I fell asleep.
Is this the fall asleep frequency? I'm getting you checked in now, Harvey, but I did have a confirmation. We just did a across the USA check-in from Old Radio Night, so we'll put you in at 20. Over.
Roger. Okay. I don't know. I was here, and then I wasn't here. Okay, I'll have a radio of interest tonight. This one.
All right, good deal. All right, go back to what you were doing. We got you checked in. You are sounding good. Someone says your meter is at 0. All right, we'll put it at 3. Not that it means anything. All right, thank you, Harvey.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll be back a little later on.
All right, so let me update my list. 20 is checked in. 21 is checked in. Didn't hear 22. Wonder where Mr. Skidoo is. SWL 23. SWL 24, of course, as you heard at the beginning of the net, checked in early. Let's try SWL 25. Got a note to get 25 a check in because I think they got a good gig at one of the local venues here in town, or maybe not so far in town, but they're doing good. I have to get out there to see them. and JT says Guinness Book of World Records was made tonight, coast to coast live. Yeah, Art Bell and Mr. Nori have nothing on us here on 27085 west of the Rockies. Go ahead. Let me go to page 2, see if Dwayne is listening. SWL 27.
27 is checking in. Oops.
Oh, you like that?
Via the FM crossband and live from Studio G.
All right, you're sounding good. I could hear a little feedback there. You turn the sound down. Dwayne is good. He is a net controller on Wednesdays, one of the net controllers on Wednesdays on a net on 10 meters. So if you're ever around on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, tune in 28, 445 upper sideband. If we have conditions, they will get you checked in the visitor section. But Dwayne always does a good job and breaks my meter. I'm checking you in, sir, and you are sounding good. KB6GFD.
Right. Also Sunday and Thursday. KI6QL.
Oh, that's right. He does all sorts of stuff. That's why he is so good. He does nets all over the place, getting an X in the square. Let me, if I get this in there, also say hello to our listeners at oldtuberadio.net. The unknown SWL, we see you there. Fresno. Hans is listening in tonight on OTR. I hope that we have a radio that you have not heard before. That would be good. Hey, look at that. We've got some weather reports going on where it's 4:21 or so. Maybe it's 5. I don't know if there's an hour difference, but the sun is yet to come up out there in the St. Anne's, UK. It's 44 degrees and clear. It was 95 today. It's probably about 85 right now outside the OTR studios here in Central California. So you are looking good all the way from the gardens to the tower to all that stuff. So thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm not sure what your weather's going to be like when the sun comes up, but it should be nice. Thanks for staying up late or getting up early. I'm not sure what you do, but always enjoying having you in from the UK. Let's go to, I've got to switch my thing here. Who else is on? Hello to Kerman, California, Inez, Kentucky. You also have another Copenhagen radio station here with Hellerup, Sendebevester, Tarnby. I don't know. Lots of places. So hopefully you are hearing us. Not live and direct, but through the Universal Media Network. Thanks for joining us. Fairfax, Virginia. Also, Shinston, West Virginia was in. Saying hello, radio, right there. That's Phil. Phil, I often see you on my other screen. So good to have you on the video tonight. Newcastle. A lot of Virginia stations. Are we making it there? Probably not. Bowling Green, Kentucky. I think that's Van Man. And right at the top is Chet. Who else is joining us? Oh, well, we'll see. We'll keep going. Otherwise, if they give me this twirly finger thing. That's like continue on. Continue on with the roll call, or we will not get to the radios. The guy in Sacramento, where I bet it was 90 degrees as well, but you guys get a Delta breeze. SWL 28. Hello, Gary. And Colo Radio, hello to you. Celebrities, hey, Big Rich 6520 stepping away from his microphoniums to saying hello radio here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And Gary is in there. He's checking in. It was like an old tube radio here in the valley. Hot, hot, hot. Yes, it was. We went from where is spring to hello summer. So I hope there's going to be some in between going on. We're expecting 100-degree weather, I think, next week. So Gary's heading out for the Dad's Root Beer on Ice. They may have some here at the control point, but if you've got some up there, as we used to say in the 1970s, go for it. Thanks for checking in. That's 28. SWL 29 got a proxy in for Mr. Loner. SWL 30, Dwayne, of course, listening in. He's got the Eagle. He's got the Robin. He's got his bevy of radios just listening in to see if we can't get some sporadic E skip tonight. So I will wait to be amazed when he pops in at 10 over and saying, check in 30 and 10. And let's see, 10, 30, and 21 are waving. All right, I will do that. I can actually say I am waving a hand like they do on 11 meters, and you can see that I'm actually doing it. Where are we going? SWL 31. SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33. That is myself. Bozo Control, the honking proboscis, everybody here that needs to get checked in around the OTR QTH. Wonder if Jimmy is listening. Jimmy Fiedler, SWL 34, taking care of a whole mess of Facebook pages dealing with radios and locomotives and things of that nature. I don't see Jimmy on right now. If he comes in later, we might try to do the satellite link up if he has got his radio on. We've got that all set up. A guy that always has his radio on, and we are expecting to hear him big time when we get some conditions, because he's done it before. He knows how to do it, is Mr. Bill, SWL 35 out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Checking in from Cheyenne. I know he didn't put from cool Cheyenne, so maybe they've got maybe they had temperatures up in the 60s or up in the 70s. We had 100 here. So where's Bill? We're sending big temperatures your way. So you can ditch the long sleeve shirt. Let's go to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 checking in, Dennis, and it's 80 degrees over here.
Well, it's cool. I should be over there. So I think it's hotter than, or it's certainly hotter than that in this room. You're sounding good. Over.
Well, that's what it says out on the patio. I'm looking at I have one of those gauges that tells inside, from outside and everything. Gives me a wet. Anyway, one of those weather things. Anyway, it's 80 over here, but that's underneath the awning over here at the QTH. This place over here, yonder way. But it's warm. It's definitely warm. And you're sounding good, Dennis.
All right, it's a good thing to be sounding good, and likewise on your end as well. Glad you've got all the dust and plastic and everything taken down, and you can be in the air chair where you're supposed to be on a Saturday evening. Got you checked in.
Oh, yeah, we got it all done. Kitchen's done. Garage door's done. I'm done.
There you go. Now it's on to it's on to the next project. I was working on mine all day today, and I'm not even close to being done. Thanks. Let's go to SWL 38. I think I turned things up too much. That is Sam in Byron, California, where we, if we were on 40 meters, Sam, I would hear you right now. But 11 meters, you move up in frequency and interesting things happen. We get you checked in and say hello, radio. SWL 39. SWL 40. And we'll see if 785. And JT saying the window cadaver is looking mean. Notice there is basically no breeze. It is a kind of hot, muggy day. But yeah, I think you're right. It's the heat. And even the window cadaver is kind of splayed out on the toes up back there. Let's go to SWL. Yeah. Sam, you always give it the good shot, Sam. At some point, we will get some backscatter going on. Let's try SWL 41. And SWL 42.
Yeah, it's Proxy and 42 in the gang.
All right, Mr. KW and the group there, we'll do that. 2600 is in. 2 Whiskey 2600. Hello, Yank. We get you on the list here. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I got everybody who's supposed to be where they are supposed to be. Let's go to SWL 43. Got a proxy in for 43. SWL 44. Can't hear me on AM, but he sounded good. He always sounds good on the ditch bank sideband net, so we'll get 360 checked in. Over to hello, Paul, SWL 45. Over. All right, Paul, can you hear me up there through the noise? It's actually kind of quiet now. All right, we'll give a proxy for Paul. I bet he will be in there shortly. Let's see. They're saying check your REA. So let's go over to the REA monitor. Hello, test radio. Now we're looking pretty good. Got to have the positive peaks kind of averaging around 100. Negative peaks should be also doing the same thing in theory, because I've got the phase rotator on, and that. Oh, I see what they're saying. They're saying it was below 0. Hello, test radio. If I go below, no, okay. I just got to talk the right way. I gotta put my radio voice on. Let's go to SWL 46. SWL 47. Oh, and good thing alert. If you are, or you can get to the video chat, and you can do it by, if you go to oldtuberadio.net, you can click on the actual video going on. That'll take you into the chat window. Chrissy is giving us a recipe for cheesecake fat bombs. I think I talked to cheesecake fat bombs down on the Super Bowl. On Channel 6. He didn't hear me quite well, but I know that cheesecake fat bombs is out there. So the recipe coming up tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. And Hammer Jockey Repair joining us as well on that aforementioned video item. Let's go to SWL 48. SWL 49. SWL 50. Shortwave listener 51.
Shortwave listener 51, checking in west of the Rockies.
Where is Ross Mitchell when we need? Our west of the Rockies line. Go ahead. And we are like coast to coast video. We do not screen our stations, our callers. They're on the air, and what you have to say, you get to say it. Sounding good, Dave. I know Sanger is working pretty good tonight here in central Fresno. Thanks.
No problem. This must be the wild card line then.
I forgot. It's been so long since I actually listened, but I had all that memorized, and all those phone numbers. Maybe we should do that. That's one thing I don't have is a phone patch. We've got two-way, we've got Echolink, so maybe I will have to work on possibly getting a wild card line for people to. They'll have to start an hour earlier for the roll call. All right, you're giving me ideas, and I don't want to think about them. Thanks, Dave. The SWL 52, I'm going to call again, but he did check in mobile. All right, we're good to go with Aaron. SWL 53, Mr. Belair checked in as well early. Turning the page, SWL 54, I've got a check in for Larry. All right, my pen. What happened to my pen here? Oh, we will do that. Yes, we will do the pen tonight. They're reminding me. SWL 55, M&M.
55, checking in.
All right, 5-5 up in the cool zone up there, maybe. You're sounding good. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and Nanette. 56, just for kick.
All right, my G38 key is doing weird stuff. You're sounding good. Was in your neighborhood not too long ago. There was a gathering from one of our programmers. He's a professor at City College, so he's having sort of an end of semester thing going on. I'm checking to see one if I got the wrong thing here. I know it's one of these. There it is. See if I'm on the list. I got my beacon. The beacon is there, and below it is the number 4. Okay, the number 4 guy's out and running around and looking pretty good, trying to stay cool. Thank you, Phil. 56 SWL. Let's go see if Mr. Brown Dog Audio 57 is in. Actually, I believe we got BDA in on an early check-in, so I'll make sure the X goes in the square. SWL 58. SWL 59. Got an early check-in for Uncle Hairball. Says to make sure to get him checked in, which I will do. Doing it right now. Oh, you're right there. No need for an early check-in. We'll do it live and direct from the Uniform Delta X-Ray 786. Checking in. Let's go to SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Evening time to all the fellows out there, and I had a chance, Dennis, before I check in there to talk with Kenny yesterday, 800, and he threw a big wave to everybody. It was his birthday, 84 years old, and I'll go ahead and leave it at that, and go ahead and check in on the 291 base, Dennis. Big Jake's base there for sure, the 2527.
All right, got you checked in, and if you're watching 69, happy birthday to you. Sounds like you got quite a few more to go. We expected you to be checking in for a long time here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We miss you out here, but I'm glad we have this little forum where you can stop by and say hello, radio. All right, Joe, we got you checked in. The 291, the DX2527, also gets an extra check right there in the title. Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 61.
61 said to check him in. He's, I don't know, he's busy doing something. He didn't know if he'd make it through the skiff.
All right, he's got a good station. I can often hear him when he thinks that I can't hear him. Of course, he can't hear me, but we will get Dino checked in. Thanks. SWL 62. SWL 63. Got a check-in for Butterbean out of North Georgia. SWL 64. Craig says hello, radio. Somewhere out there in Wisconsin, where things are probably nice, always. Thank you, Craig, for staying up late. stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. SWL 67. Michael out of the Bronx said to make sure that he gets checked in. He had an early call, so Michael 68 got you checked in. All right, there goes the fan and the computer. So it is getting warm in this room. SWL 69 will get the birthday X in the square out there to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thanks, Kenny, for joining us. SWL 70. SWL 71, Stan in Dallas, Georgia, has got an X in the square, and he wasn't playing radio today, but he was making sure that the people that want to get on the radio can do so, because he was doing VE sessions today. He did 6 VE test sections. That's a lot. That's a lot of time involved, so hopefully there were some stations out there getting their calls, getting on the air. It's a good thing. Something, if you're thinking about it, you should do as well. Perfect time. Summer's coming up. Cycle 25 is happening. A great way to get on the air. There's all sorts of interesting things to do, from digital modes to packing stuff up and climbing a mountain, or going out to a park, and getting on the air. All right, Stan, thanks for getting those stations on the air. And I know you've got probably hundreds, thousands, I don't know, at least hundreds of new hams, going on the airwaves. Thanks for the VE exam sessions. And I'll have to, where's 785? He always knows what's coming up here locally. We should have some here coming up as well. Let's go to SWL 72. SWL 73. Shortwave listener 74. SWL 75. Then we go to, and I got to make sure, I got to put that little cushion on my needle on the S meter. SWL 77.
Little cushion. 77 on the little peanut whistle here. Waving a hand to everybody out there, 73s, and a great big happy birthday to Kenny, 69 there. That's awesome, 84 years old. Thank you for everything you do, Dennis, and we'll let you have it back.
Okay, we'll do that. I think Kenny was checking in when he was 69, and now he's 84 and still doing it, so having a good time. And yeah, you're being nice to me. You're 30 over. Not like last night on the Ditch Bank Square. I think I saw a 60 over at one point. I think I did when I was on the right antenna. All right, thanks for checking in.
You betcha.
SWL 78, Wild Wildemar. Hello, radio. Could probably get, that's another link up we get. I could probably get Richard on 40 meters. Oh, the band is probably super noisy. See if we get any of our 40-meter voodoo crew stomping by tonight. SWL 79. SWL 80. And the Echo link is up tonight. I see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Tony's there. We'll get Tony in a little bit. What is going on? Oh, saying it's Bob and Steve, and they are here for the latest happenings and episodes. So if the Jingle Singers will give us the intro.
27.0850 TR Channel 11.
Actually, I say the Jingle Singers. That's actually Crazy Bob Madara and his orchestra providing the opening to Bob and Steve. Thanks, Crazy Bob, if you're listening. He's probably out right now doing a DJ thing on a Saturday night. We have episode 167 for the 13th of May, 2023. Thank you, Bob and Steve, for being here again. It says, please don't forget tomorrow is Mother's Day. And I second that. So the mothers get a free ride in the limo of their choice. So if your mom's around, bring them by and we'll get them a free ride in the limo to whatever limo they want, to I guess wherever they want to go, as long as it's not too far away. Only 5 days left, 120 hours away from the Dayton Xenia Greene County Hamvention. The jet is fueled and ready to go, and they're going to wear out their OTR shirts. Well, that's kind of nice. I've got mine. Mine is sort of like the stuffed shirt, but there's some more OTR shirts, a little bit more, I don't know, outdoorsy or something. But you will see them if you go to the Dayton Hamvention, because they got a whole a box of them they're handing out to anybody that's going. At the bar tonight from Emery's on Silver Lake, Everett, Washington. I talked to somebody up in Everett, Washington a couple of nights ago. Sounding pretty good, by the way. Ribeye steak smothered in mushroom gravy, onion straws on French fries, tossed salad. It sounds like a song. Onion straws on French fries, tossed salad, and the dressing, or not, of your choice. They're all set up out in the pavilion. Yeah, the pavilion is up and running and looking good. The pavilion was busy. I had to take a number to get into the pavilion this afternoon. A hot apple cobbler and homemade ice cream. You know I'll be in line for that. Coffee and tea are on Bob and Steve. And as always, don't forget to feed the fish.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
All right, we'll be on page 4. I'll be back in about 30 seconds.
I'd like one of them T-shirts, only if it's got your picture on it, Dennis.
Hello, radio. I think it has something a lot more interesting, like a tube or a radio or whatever. Maybe mine's on, my picture's on the back, but I don't think so. Anyway, one element to you're sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network as you go to page 4.
Good evening, Paige Fowler. Your picture should be on the front of that 10 Fowler.
Well, I think they actually wanted to be able to print them and sell them, so we figured out something that would work well. SWL 81. And I think I'm going to get a check in here. So what happened to the races? SWL 82.
82 checking in. Yeah, I got lazy. Just got lazy, and I realized my air conditioner didn't work on my pickup, and my son didn't want to go with me, so I said, you know what? It's a good night for Old Tube Radio.
Yeah, well, okay, that was like that was doomed from the beginning, I guess. All right, well, it's kind of warm out there too. So this is one of those days. It's once you get past 85, it's like no big deal. But it's got that 95. It's kind of all right. Well, glad you are around, and I will quickly mention the voice you hear. You will also hear if you hang out on channel 36 lower on Friday evenings around 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The Ditch Banks sideband net. Ron sits in the air chair of their net control. And give it a try. They have anybody check-in visitors at the end of the net. So if there's some conditions going on, which there has been, he's been checking in a lot of stations from Australia, but it's worth giving it a try on Friday evenings. I often do when I remember that I'm supposed to do that. All right, thanks, Ron.
All right, Dennis, and take care and doing a great job out here, and enjoy checking in and listening in and looking at all the Old Tube radios there, the pictures on the internet. All righty, have a good night. 7-3s from 82 out here in the Ditch Banks of Iowa.
All right, thanks for stopping by. Chrissy's got the recipe going for those tasty items of interest. This is one I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it tomorrow. I'll have to go and transcribe it all, but it's there. And the when you go back to the replay, I do believe that the chat window is there, so you can see the recipe and copy it down if you didn't get it tonight. You're watching after ex post facto. Look for that tasty recipe. Let's go to SWL 83. SWL 84. That's Jerry out in Clovis. I'm giving him a check, and he is back and sounding good on the airwaves on 40 meters on the Jefferson noontime net. I tried a couple days to get in, and each time I had a phone call or something happened, and by the time I got back, they were already gone away. But if you're listening there, Cheerios Kid, you're sounding good. Good to hear you back on the 40-meter net. I will also get the Mountain Maid Tandy Girl and the Snowy Owl, 86, 87, and 88, respectively, also checked in. Let's go to SWL 89. SWL 90. Got 90 checked in. SWL 90. Okay, 90 we got. SWL 91. And Felix out of the Bronx tonight. Where's... Oh, Felix is right there. You got a radio. Saying hello to all the SWLs and OTR operators. And don't forget Mother's Day tomorrow. All right, Felix, let me make it official with the X. Thanks for joining us here. The Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Who's joining us? Hello to Boston, Massachusetts, just checking in. And 13, hello, Mr. Cobra. And he's got it right. Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. Yeah, no reason if you're going to have a test to get in, to go up a higher class if you want. Not hard to do. Lucky number 13, thanks for jumping in, the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 92. SWL 93. Let's see, Warthog 95 as 95. Playing the part of SWL 95 tonight is Warthog 95. And playing the part of SWL 97 is Boston 97. Hello, Jim. Jim is in there. And checking in. And save you a ribeye. I will do that. I think we do that. They have a nice little warming tray thing. Actually, we'll make it up. We'll make it up for you when you jump in the door. Tell them OTR sent you, right? All right, Boston is in. And this guy up the hill and around the corner, or is it down the hill and around the corner? No, I think he's got some altitude out there, but he is around the corner from me. Hello, Tracy, 98. We got you checked in, the Old Tube Radio Network. Got the Echo link up and running, but before we do that, we will say hello to Radio Randy out there in near Phoenix. It's Port something. I can never remember the town where he is at. But he's got a nice station set up out there that will do everything from 160 meters to I don't know where. Okay. The Old Tube Radio Network. Did I mention that we are here every Saturday? We will have the radios coming in shortly, so do not go away. If you're checking in a radio, great time to warm it up or decide, what the heck? I'm going to check in. Instead of checking in one, I'll check in two if you have to. Let me go to SWL 100, and to do that, we are going to try to get an Echo link connection and head out to McClellanville, South Carolina. KD4BAO, KB6GFD, over. And we'll see if we can't get the Echo link up and running for Tony here. He's there, but I'm not getting audio. I wonder if I have some wacky things going on my end. All right, no audio, but Tony was there. The icon. I see you on my icon there, Tony, but there was no audio coming through. So if you want to try another transmission, Tony, try it again. Over.
We'll try it again, Dennis. You should be able to hear me now.
Yeah, there we go.
Please stick in this WL100. Good hearing you and seeing you. And back to net control, KD4BAO.
All right, it was perfect that time. Great audio. And so the link has been made, and I will make the official click for the check-in for SWL100. Hope all is going well that way. All right, hope all is going that well that way. 73 from KB6GFD. All right, Tony's checked in. Trying to get my goes intos and goes outos set up for the Echo link. Let's try SWL102 from the beautiful state of Arkansas. I was listening. I thought I heard someone trying to check in from afar. John is there. Saying hello radio at on the all2radio.net video site. Lovely 67 degrees tonight. Happy Mother's Day going out for all the moms tomorrow. Indeed. Thanks. Thanks, John. Looking and sounding good. Let's try SWL 103. SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Great audio as always. Sounding good here on AM tonight, down in the flatlands of Fresno. Mr. Crawdad, we've got the X in the square for 109. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, 109, getting us started off in the triple digits. That you know that radios can't be far away when you hear the voice of Auberry up there. Let's go to SWL 110. All right, 110. 111 checked in earlier on the Facebook page. SWL 113.
Oh, Dennis, 111 trying to check in.
Hey, 111, 111. You know, the skip went away and I hear you just fine over.
Trying to check in.
Yeah, you're sounding great. You're sounding great from Reedley. No skip at all. Over.
Yeah, but I gotta use the stream to hear you. Take care, bud.
All right, well, you can hear you're sounding good. Good audio. Nice signal. So, all right, live and direct. That gets an X in the square out there at Reedley Town. Thank you, Robert. All right, nothing from 113. Here's the station that is probably standing by. Here we go. SWL 114. Hello, Wayne.
114 checking in.
114. Sounding good, sir. We've got the X in the square.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right. I mentioned this before, but Wayne is one of the stations I've been checking in for a long time, and pretty much all the time. So if there was an award for like perfect attendance, he would definitely be up there. My brother got an award for perfect attendance in high school. 4 years of perfect. Who does that? Who shows up to high school for 4 years? This isn't high school, but I think it's a little bit more fun, maybe. We'll get the certificate up for you, Wayne. Let's see. Let's go over to SWL 128, and that is John, Fairfax, Virginia. Got him checked in earlier. He's got lots going on and needed to get up early, so he checked in. He did stop by. I always appreciate people that, even if they're busy, they say, I've got to say hello to the group, to the OTR guys and gals. So we appreciate that. Let's go to SWL 131. SWL 133. All right, we're coming up to, I think, the gray line for Hawaii, maybe. I'm not sure. But you hear them starting to sneak back in. Let's go to SWL 135.
SWL 135 checking in.
135 checking in. Hello, Green Arrow. The X is in the square, and I have a feeling that you will also be on our tube radio list tonight.
If it keeps working, I hope so.
All right, well, this is, we hope this is the keeps it working frequency. Thanks. Also working, but having to go. Hello, Uniform Delta X-Ray 4570. I am looking, I have a little pop-up on my screen that wants me to do something that I just don't want to do right now. But what I want to do is say hello to 4570 out there in Palm Springs, who's got a say hello radio, and then go. Says you'll catch the rerun. Who would have thought that you could see reruns of the Old Tube Radio Network? Well, hopefully, and I know we will. We'll have some great radios for you to enjoy out there in Palm Springs. Let's go to SWL. Uh-oh, I'm missing somebody. Oh, SWL 137. And we've got a proxy check-in for the Phantom, AJ, and also a check-in for SWL 145. Tony was in earlier, sounding good. Also, we checked in earlier, SWL 147, Neil from Kakalaki, listening to all the great conditions he's been having out there. Let's see. Bobby was in last night on the Ditch Bank sideband net. Let's see if he's around tonight. SWL 188. He must be checking that last skip that we can't hear. All right, and if he's not at the dessert cart, which he certainly could be, and he certainly deserves it. If he's not out of the dessert cart, but back of the radio, I'm sure it's a little bit quieter up where you're at, Jim. SWL 195. He did come in as 00. And so, yeah, get that dessert. They have really good strawberries when I walked by. Looking good. So put a strawberry on that ice cream. SWL 100, no, we've done the 100s. SWL 226. And anybody that needs to check in that I forgot or you just came by and want to say hello, radio. And that's it. Gary says he's got the dessert cart. I thought I saw someone going out the door. I heard those squeaky wheels. No. All right, well, he deserves it. If anybody's going to steal the dessert cart, I think I'll let him get away with that. All right, be back in a moment. We're going to do that tube thing that we do. And we hope you will join us, the Old Tube Radio Network, back in a moment or two. Over. I think I can. Why is that so loud? All right, I did something, but this is still the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Your Old Tube Radio Network, thanks to Stan Freeberg, the Billy May Orchestra, and X4000. Looking good and sounding good. It's that time. It's that time that we all wait for. It's the time the tube radios will parade across your radio, your screen, or whatever it is that however it is that you are accessing the Old Tube Radio Network, and have a good. What happened? I got cold air now. You say, oh, the vent was closed. They're saying they opened the vent. Well, you mean the vent was closed all this time? Yeah, because that's probably putting heat out before. Now it's putting out cold air. Okay, don't forget to, thank you, Chet. Don't forget to turn on the radio. All right, we have illuminated the Johnson 223 and our pocket protector pen of the week, brought to you by the Old Tube Radio Network and RCA. This is a cool pen. RCA, the most trusted name in electronics. Well, it's just an RCA. Let me go to the Luston Stellar camera here. It is just a promotion for RCA. There you go. But it's a nice pen. Look at that little space age holes stuck in there. Is this plastic? This is metal. This is not a plastic pen in any way, shape, or form. So how many of you might have possibly RCA tubes in your, I think I just broke the RCA pen. Anyway, it might have the RCA tubes in your old tube radio. I bet there are some out there like that. All right, stop talking, they say, and let's get to the radios, and we will do that. OTR is listening for any and all radio check-ins.
135, 135.
All right, I've got 135, and who is the other station?
14.
And 14. All right, we got it clear. We got a nice clear frequency now. So, Sean, don't go away. We'll get you checked in and checked in. There's stuff in the green room. We'll call you. I think the dessert card is gone, but find something, and we will call you. So don't go too far. Stepping up in the air chair now at just a wee bit after 9 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time is the Cliff Item. Hello, radio.
Hello there, Mr. Dennis Item. Yeah, this is the Cliff Item, SW 135, the green arrow on the Courier 23 by Electronics Communications Incorporated, ECI. Let's see, there are 10 tubes, but all 23 channels, crystal controlled, transmit and receive. And hopefully there's still a picture of it around there somewhere.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, as one of these was, it was hard to find. It was on something. There it is. Oh, yeah, that's the picture. Coolness, and no doubt, let me go to full screen here. It is probably on channel 11. Yes, it is. All right, and it says courtesy of Cliff, SWL 175. So going to the full screen, we'll go back to you for the audio, but the people listening, the radio, if you are at the video or you're at oldtuberadio.net, we're displaying a great shot of a classic Courier 23. I guess it was the ECI by then, ECI Courier 23, that sold for $189.50, and it will be the radio. The radio we're looking at will be the radio you will hear when I say, go ahead, over.
Okay, and if I recall the picture correctly, it should have the original mic on it, which is an Astatic, what is it? I think a Astatic 525 plastic unamplified handheld microphone. On the front of it, it says ECI. Well, I say on the back, it's an Astatic mic. And a lot of chrome on this thing. And let's see, the meter has a nice illuminated meter showing you right precisely at 10 over here on also nicely illuminated channel 11. Back to you.
Yeah, and great audio, lots of audio. In fact, probably if you didn't want to speak that close to the microphone, you could not, or you could, but it's good. So it was good through the skip. Switches. I actually had to turn you down. What does he mean by that? I had the audio going in to the stream. It's like, whoa. So I think I must have had it set for somebody else. So plenty of audio with that. SW102 saying he's got a couple of those 23s and he likes the chrome case. So I take it you've got a chrome case over there.
Oh yeah, like I was saying, a lot of chrome on this thing. But also, one of the more interesting things about it, I think, is the chassis, inside, where you put all the electronic components, is copper clad. I just can't see it being solid copper. I'm not certain, because I've never dug into it to find out, but it sure makes it easier to solder on. So I think it's probably some sort of, steel, metal, chassis, but then maybe they dip it in copper, because mine definitely looks copper. Back to you.
Yeah, well, it looks nice. We only see in the outside, of course, but it looks nice. Front fire speaker, so I'll be curious to see how that sounds, or how you think it sounds. CBPA, modulation light should be, your mod light should be blinking if it's working, and then there's, I can't read the switch under the, range boost. We'll talk about the range boost. Go ahead.
Well, not too much. I need to clean the switches on this thing. But the range boost is on. This actually has the range boost as opposed to the range expand and all those other variations on the theme. Dyna boost, all that kind of stuff. But, the range boost is on, and I don't dare try to give you a demonstration because the switches are all dirty on this thing. I almost lost you guys, at least lost my receive, because I accidentally bumped the PACB switch. And that means, all the switches are dirty, and so I hope you don't mind if I don't demonstrate it. Trust me, the audio will just get a lot quieter.
Yeah, I was just about to give you a caveat about that, saying that on certain times these things are working, and you disconnect little contacts and you try and reconnect the contacts, and it doesn't work. So everything is perfect. You're getting some good comments and thumbs up from the listeners. Thank you, John. A copper-plated Panasonic chassis. So that's one of the Panasonic chassis coming up. Could be, I don't know, but it could be plate modulated. And then, let's see, we'll ask one more question before we go out to Sanger. And when we were on the close-up, we saw the band spread. So is that band spread? So that's sort of like a delta tune, if you will. You want to go a little higher, a little bit lower on the receive?
That's all it is. It actually doesn't cruise across the entire band or anything like that. It's a delta tune. And it works quite well zeroing people in, but you can go the whole range, and it's only going to go this side or that side of the channel.
Okay, and Not that we need to do that, but you can. It works good when it's skip. Skip coming in, and you can tune off to the side and actually hear something. Jack for a headphonium, I think. Oops, I'm gonna get my radio keyed up here. Phones, yeah. And then, the Dymo label, and maybe that's not on there anymore. The KBW, and that is a typical, probably mid 60s to early 70s. 11-meter Class D call. If you went really early, they were totally different than that. If you go later than about 1972 or 3, I think there was another letter involved. But that's a good, at the time this radio was new, somebody's call Kilowatt Bravo Whiskey 6767. Where are you?
Yeah, KBW 6767 is still on here. I always leave those things on here. I got a bunch of radios with those call signs on there. And to me, it's part of the history of the radio. So yeah, I don't tear them off. I know some people do, but to me, it's you know what I mean? It's kind of part of the story. I have no idea who this person was, but no, I always leave those on.
Yeah, that's I agree with you. It's you can do a frame-up restoration on your automobile, or you can leave it with the original, upholstery, however it came with it, and the little dings on the chrome occasionally, but it still looks cool, and I bet it smells like an old tube radio in a good way. Radio number 1, the Courier 23. Only information I have that ran about $190. Back when they came out in the late 1960s. Could be a little bit earlier than that. And it's in Sam's PhotoFax CB8, if you can grab one of those or have one of those. So good deal. Back to you for transmission. Thanks for bringing it by. Sounding very good. You will enjoy the replay.
Okay, great. And thanks for letting me check it in. All the stickers and or whatever other identification things on this were long gone by the time I got a hold of this radio. So I'm not sure about the place of manufacture. I tried looking some of it up, and I found a business office in Pasadena, California, but you're saying a Panasonic chassis. So I strongly suspect it might have been manufactured in Japan. But if anybody knows, go ahead and type up a comment or something, as I'm not sure where these things were made.
Okay, and there's like the Style 1 and Style 2. The infamous Panasonic chassis that we hear the most is I guess the version 2 is what they say, and that's the one that's on the Robin and the Fan, or actually the Fan is the Courier, I think, but it's the second generation Panasonic chassis. But they always sound good. Looks good on the, put the S meter up there, looks good as well. Thanks for bringing that one by, and if anybody knows, we'll find out shortly.
Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you next time.
On the Old Tube Radio Network, they're saying let's do a jingle singer break while Sean steps up to the microphonium. We'll be back in just a second.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
Station for you, and maybe even you, the Old Tube Radio Network. And who is it? John was saying that those red lights, if you're watching the video here, the modulation warning lights on the positive and negative peaks, said that it looks like, it does look like a bozo nose, or we put the bozo face around it somewhere. Then you would know it was a bozo. Where is bozo? Where's the bozo? Oh, here it is. It's behind me. So yeah, there always is, and here's what he's referring to. He's referring to the fact that we put that little face and the hair around. I always got a bozo around the meter, around the light bulb, and we've got it. All right, bozo can go back in the bozo bin, and we will say hello. Hello, Sean, out there in Sanger. Over.
Hey, Dennis, SWL 14 checking in, and tonight I am checking in on my Cobra Cam 88.
All right, another radio. I'll call it underrated. I mean, everybody, the Brownings and the Trams, but Cam 88 for the audio, out of the box, sounding pretty good. I am going to get a picture of that. I can never remember if I have to go under B and K, which I'm going to try to do. Yeah, okay, and I've got some other ones from the internet. We'll do to the double stack here, which I think shows the fact that there is one with range boost or a boosty meter and one that does not have one. Sounding good. Hopefully you can hear me okay, but the band is super quiet right now. We'll also get you checked in as SWL14. Take a transmission on the Cam 88. Over.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can also hear the hippopotamus out there making some noise as well. Yeah, my Cobra Cam 88 is the one with Dyna boost and the modulation lights, and it also has the stock D&K microphone.
So that is it's not a desk-style microphone. It'd be a hand mobile-style microphone?
Yeah, like a trucker-style microphone is what I think of.
Okay, very good. I was searching through some of my files here, and I know where there was one of the stations that had a full shelf of the Cam 88s and the Cam 98s, but I haven't seen that as well. How is the receive on that? Do you have to, hit the side of the case, or does it come right up?
It works really good. This radio in particular has a real good receive, and it also is a radio that's easy to listen to. I like the sound of the speaker. It's not real harsh. It has a soft tone to it.
Yeah, exactly. And the guys that roll the tubes, I mean, you're listening to high fidelity audio. Okay, I found it. I found the shot I'm looking for. Yeah, it's Keith. Keith Pennington. Let me pop that up here. It'll only be on the video. But there's his display with the Cam 88, nice, and the 98. Looks like they used a different meter, moved the switches around, but sounds quite nice. So, yeah, if you're ever into the audio thing, and I think Dennis does, the 1077 does this on his as well, it's got a good full fidelity. So if you ever get into the rabbit hole of trying to do hi-fi audio, I say this is the first radio to try it out on. You try it out in the Browning, they roll off all the low frequencies, but the Cobra does not.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go that far into it. I don't even own a computer, so any more audio than I can alter my voice is probably all you're going to get on the old OTR.
All right, well, yeah, I can hear you there, and you can probably be like me. So I've got a lot of old. See, I'm a throwback too. I've got a lot of the old analog audio gear up in the rack here, so sometimes it's fun to add to the radios as well. Sounding good. Got you checked in on both lists in one fell swoop here. The Cobra Cam 88, doing a good job. Nice and smooth audio, by the way. Just easy, as you said, it's easy to listen to on your end through the receiver. Transmitter, likewise, very easy to listen to, and you're getting some thumbs up and some excellent items from our listeners on the net here. So take another transmission, and thanks for jumping into the Old Tube Radio Network and adding the Cobra.
All right, well, I appreciate all the flowers, everybody, and thanks for the time tonight, Dennis.
All right, glad to be of assistance. That's why they throw me in this goofy suit and put me in the air chair, because they say, and try and check in as many radios as possible. All right, I'm trying to fix my J38 key. There's a little spring on there, and it keeps keeps popping up, and it makes it very difficult to key down, or is it key up the transmitter. The Jingle Singers will tell us what they do, or what we should be doing, and what you will be doing is checking in your tube radios. We'll be listening and standing by after this.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
And we are standing by listening for radio number 3.
Dennis?
You know, I was worried that because it's so nice outside that people wouldn't be wanting to come in and sit by hot radio. But so far, it's proving me wrong. And this is the basic Dennis. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll check this one in. This is a general radio telephone, Super MC. According to what it says, it's a MC11. And when I got this, the person said it was a 2, because he saw 11, thought it was Roman numeral 2. So I came by, because he wanted to sell it. And I said, no, this is not a 2, this is an 11. So he said, oh, is it worth more? And I said, yes. And I said, how much you want? He told me. I said, that's just fine. Anyway, it's a Super MC11, not the A, but the 11.
All right, and not to be confused with, and that's a good observation, because the E.F. Johnson Messenger 2, TWO, see, they spelled it out, but there could be a Roman numeral 2, which there often is, but it is the MC11. In the line of, what was the first one? It was just a master control, wasn't it? It wasn't an MC1, master control. I don't know if they had a 2, 3, 4, and up on the line they went through the 60s to, I'm not sure the vintage of this. I'm going to say 1970, 71, 72. They're kind of at General Radio Telephone in beautiful downtown Burbank is at the end of their run. You know, they're still developing these things on the kitchen table of the technicians, changing things, tweaking here and there. But the 11 had a pretty decent run, although there's probably not as many 11s as 11As. Wouldn't that be correct?
Well, from what we see on the internet and eBay and all that, there seem to be more 11As than 11s. But I got lucky, and I have a few of these 11s. The 11A or the 11/A is in Sam's PhotoFact book 22, and that's dated 1969. So this probably came out 67, 68, something like that.
Oh, all right. So I misspoke. I think the final radios coming out of General Radio Telephone were the early 70s or when it got sold to Skyhawk, but that would be the 12 and some other things. And somebody's liking your radio because it says it's got to be good because it goes to 11. Over.
Yes, it does. And this is kind of funny. Channel 9, above Channel 9, it says help, which a lot of them do on the dial. But in the Channel 24 spot, a lot of them say CAP. This one does not. So that's interesting. Anyway, on low, this does about 5 3/4 or so, low, to about 18. And on the high side, which you'll lose audio, here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the high side. It does about 14, 15, hello, to 35. and that's on the high side, and then I'll go back to the low side. It's tuned for the low side. The switch, as you can tell I must have done, it's on the, the tone switch, the noise filter tone switch. Out is low, in is high. And that's the way it was when I got it. So I left it that way. Anyway, the meter works. Both light bulbs work. It's got all the channels in it. And 11 should be maybe a hair low. When it warms up, it tends to go a hair low. And I've had it on for about an hour and a half.
Oops, sorry, you caught me trying to do a zero beat when you unkeyed, so we'll try that next time. Showing the rear of the radio, and even says in a little box MC11. So I guess if you sent your 11 back to have it modified as 11A, it would still be an MC11 on the front coming in. Interesting, when you changed the power level to probably the cap specifications, you gained about an S unit, so about 6 dB, but it actually did affect the audio fidelity. It cut off a little bit of the low frequencies. So it did narrow the audio up a little bit, probably, as you said, just it's restricted. So when you go to whatever the cap thing would be, whatever the cap Civil Air Patrol would be, does it say channel 24, or is it just a blank on your dial?
On this dial, it's a blank, just a blank, and there is no channel in there. It came that way, or I stole the crystal, put it in another one, I don't know. But this one's got all the channels. Some of them aren't quite on frequency, but these crystals are very hard to find. I used some picofarad capacitors to get some others that were a little high to be lower and closer to on frequency. But well, the one that matters is close to being on. I think there's zero beating me. It's probably going to be at around 048 or 9.
Okay, and I got my fingers doing something else, and I didn't do the zero beat, so I'll have you take another transmission. But we do have a question, and it is actually something that I was trying to see if I had some information on that, but I don't think I do. But you might, because you've done enough of them. And Hans is asking the weight of the radio, because it's got those rack handles. Their master controls had the rack handles, and I'm not sure if it's because of the weight. I'm going to assume that's probably a typical, like 13 to 18 pound radio. But it was just their style. And at that time, especially, I'm used to seeing rack handles like that on a lot of broadcast equipment or equipment that was in a rack that you would put in. So I wonder if they just did that. I wonder if their technicians were broadcasters or something and say, it would look cool if we put rack handles on this thing, because as far as I know, it's not rack size. It's not whatever it is, 18 3/4 inches where you would be putting it into a rack, and there's certainly no rack ears on that at all. So what would you say that might run about 15 pounds, which would be, what would that be, about 17, I'm trying to do the math here, 17 pounds, but about 7 kilograms over.
I don't know the kilograms, and I'm not sure of the pounds, but it is heavy. It is very heavy. And when I did the radio room, I said to myself, I'll put some shows right up there, and I'll put the generals on there. Well, now I need a good step stool and a lot of room when I grab a radio off that shelf, because it weighs a ton. And I better not lose my balance, because I'll lose more than my balance. But anyway, It's very heavy. I haven't weighed it. I guess I could, but it's heavy. It's a heavy radio. Anyway, this one. Yes, I didn't say that at the beginning. Anyway, yeah, I don't have a mic for it. I'll include a mic plug and 10-out wiring for the plug. But I just ran out of general microphones. So right now, this is a D104 turned quite a bit down. And when I come back next time, I'll have a CM3 general hand mic on it that's on one of my other radios.
37.
All right. Chris, don't go away. It'll be our next radio. All right, I did get to do the 0 beat, and you are about 300 cycles, maybe 250 cycles low. It sounds good. It really sounds good when I switch over to the sideband. And what else was I going to say? All right, so we'll say it's heavier than probably like a Robin or something like that. So it would be 20 pounds, maybe in the 9 kilogram range. So the rack handles do help, I suppose. Although you still have to cantilever the thing into a shelf, but it is nice that they put the rack handles on there. So probably got a big hefty duty chassis and maybe a big transformer as well. All right, so I did have the Orban meter up. I saw that you're about a -16 on the LKFS with that microphonium, so you should have the other one in, and back to you for transmission.
Okay. This is the General CM3 mic. It's kind of a standard general radio telephone hand mic that would go with the Super Series. And yeah, or the MC7, I guess, which isn't a Super. The MC8 is a Super. So anyway, this is the hand mic.
All right, it's a little quieter, not much, about 1 unit on the LKFS. Tones it down a little bit, certainly not bad at all, maybe not as much high frequency punch, but it sounds perfectly fine. SWL 14 Shanson, you're sounding good in Sanger tonight with that radio. So either or, and we know when Chris checks in, and he might be checking in on his Super MC11A. Same thing. He runs the hand microphonium, and I think Cliff does as well with his general radio telephones. They were certainly built to run the microphone in the box, not necessarily to go out and buy a fancy amplified microphonium or anything like that. All right, so it is doing a good job. Over.
Roger. Well, as I think about it here, on the back of the 11As, it'll say on the serial number tag, it'll say Super MC11, because the 11s and the A's are the same exact radio, with the exception of the A on the front and the GRT logo on the front, which is on the 11A, and the crystal setup for the mixer and the oscillator crystals is supposed to be different. However, all my 11s have, I shouldn't have said it that way, the 11s have the same crystals as the A's that I have, and I don't know, but that's what Sam's PhotoFax says. And if there's a general radio telephone technician out there that hasn't died yet, maybe he or she could let us know what's up with that. Anyway, Chris is next, and I got a message from a person asking me if it's for sale, and yes, it is. So it's for sale without the mic, but with a mic plug. And that's about it, unless, well, see, the person that sent me a message, I can let him know how much it is. And there was one other person that asked, and he's got my phone number. But Dennis, let me know if there were any interested parties on the stream there.
Okay, we'll do that. I brought up a shot of the backside of the radio where it does say it's a model MC11 in the little box, giving the serial number with the General Radio Telephone Company of 3501 West Burbank Boulevard. And somebody said they used to live in Burbank in the early 80s. Yeah, CB Lounge, 2112 says it used to be. I don't know what was it, 3501 West Burbank Boulevard, but it probably wasn't the General Radio Telephone Company. All right, you're sounding good. We'll get back to the regular picture here, back to the control room, and see what we got. Who's coming up next? Oh, Chris. Chris is coming up next, and I think he's on a General Radio Telephone. I'm not sure which one he's on. I want to say goodnight to Chrissy. Chrissy, thank you for taking time out to upload the recipe. I've seen it go by. It looks interesting, so I will take a look at that when we are done here. I always enjoy you taking the time out. I know it's hard. You got to type all that stuff in. Type all the recipe stuff in. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for joining us. We'll look for you next week. Have a great Mother's Day tomorrow. And Harvey, we're good. So I'll, if you got anything else, we'll go back to you. Otherwise, I'm going to pick up Mr. Chris on his radio. But sounds good. Audio is good. Pretty close to being on frequency. Both microphoniums make it play well. And interesting how they have the power bump. But it sure does sound fidelity-wise better on the but we knew that on the standard power level. So back to you. Over.
Roger. Yeah, I leave it on low power, and I think I'm going to try and adjust the frequency before I go to another radio. And after maybe Chris, you can check to see if it's gone up. Okay, we'll turn it back to you. And I've got a message on my phone that I've got to answer. And I will see if this thing's going to be sold.
All right, very good. Sounds good. It's definitely a nice sounding radio. I just double checked. I'd say about 750, so 250 cycles over, not too bad. I do get a definite tone when I do the zero beat at 25 even. All right, thanks for that. What else is going on? The Old Tube Radio Network. I'm going to go to the Jingle Singers. Chris, I don't know where you're at, but come on up on the air chair. We'll get you in just a few moments. I thought I smelled some popcorn, and indeed, up in the mezzanine area, Popcorn 913 joining us. So if you can't make it down to the green room, you know where to go. You are listening to the Old Tired Tube Radio Network, and we'll be back in about 20 seconds.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me clear our picture because we will have a new one. Probably like that, but just a little bit different. Let me also say hello radio, and I will get the official check-in for 23 Skidoo, who is returned in the magic bus to the radio room. Sounding pretty good. Shooting skip on the long path and heard myself. Apparently that can be a thing. But you got to do it quick, from what I understand. You got to key up for about a second, say hello, and wait for the hello to come back. And I guess if you're doing CW, that's where you can hear it. You hear the echo, as it would be. It would be an echo coming back as you hear your signal skipping around the universe and back to you. I would assume that once cycle 25 gets to the peak, that were you to have a pretty decent transmitter and the proper antenna on the proper frequency, probably a 20 meter band or something, you would be able to do that. Hello, Christopher, over.
And hello, Dennis. This is me.
All right, hello me. Or hello you. I'm confused already. Hello you, it is me. Tell us about your radio. I think I know which one it is. We got a pretty good description of the radio that came before that, but yours is the, I would say, expanded or the corrected or the modified version, and I will find the picture for that, and we'll talk about some of the differences take a transmission. Over.
Okay. Yeah, this is the other one. This is the Super MC11A, a 24-channel tuber on the general radio telephone here. And this one here, of course, it's the handheld stock microphone that came with it. Nothing behind it, just what's in front of it, coming out of it.
All right, good. Well, I'm trying to get the picture. Why is it something has gone wacky here? There it is. For some reason giving something different. All right, that's perfect. Yeah, there's a difference. Some definite differences on the front. The GRT logo, or as we say, the old man in the wheelchair. Looks like the channel selection is a little different. And it says Super MC11A, 24 channels, and I think yours says CAP, which his does not. Good sounding audio, and you are using the CM3, I think he called it, stock microphonium, the little teardrop shaped mic, right?
I believe that's what it is. I don't see no numbers on it that I can just tell of, so, but hey, anyway, it's missing a little emblem on the front of it in the middle there, but it's a general.
Yeah, we call that, what, the meatball, the logo. But doesn't affect the performance of the microphonium. Question, so when you are transmitting, when the radio is keyed up, where does the S meter go? Does it go down to 0? Does it actually show some type of movement? Because I see it does have some markings on the bottom. Let me go to the close-up here. I guess at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it shows SWR. All right, it's got 5 and 10, so it's probably got a gradiated scale depending on if you're using the high or the low power. So I'm just curious to where it goes when you key up.
All the way to the other side. It actually pegs it when I talk. And wattage-wise, hello, it's doing almost 25.
All right, well maybe it's a true meter reading 5 or 10. If you're keying down 11 or 12. In theory, it would be, could be, should be pinning the meter, which it does. Well, you sound good. Yeah, you definitely don't have to. You can be mellow. You don't have to talk too loud in that microphone for sure.
I just talk normal, just like when you're sitting here. You heard me talk more than once. Over.
Indeed. Well, that radio is good if you are a low talker. The General Radio Telephone Company, beautiful downtown Burbank. The corrected, modified version of what we heard earlier, at least for the transmit part, for what we're hearing, no difference at all. But there were some other internal workings and some other things that they changed, but don't think it affected the transmitter at all. We will mark you in as Radio 4, and as always, a fan favorite here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Well, I do thank you, Dennis. I'm tired. I'm going to be shutting things down. I've been up since about 7:30 this morning doing stuff, so my body is exhausted, so is my brain, what there is of it.
What's left? Yeah, I was hacking weeds today, and of course it was the temperature was up, and then up on the roof doing some stuff. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. When the net is over, I'm going to head out to the lounge and get some of that good stuff we talked about earlier. Thanks for joining us. I will stay keyed up, and I will go to the SWL check-in list and say hello radio and put a mark in for SWL 78. Richard checking in and waving a Pick you. There he is. You over there in the back row. You over in the mezzanine. We'll get you checked in. SWL 78. Did it show up on the screen? Yes, it did, from Wild Wildemore. And we are listening for Radio 5. 14. And 14, do the math. Yeah, 14's got 5. So back to you it goes. I'll bring up the radio Rolodex and take a transmission over.
Yeah, I'd like to check in my Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV.
Okay, I got another good picture of the Mark IV today, so hopefully I will be able to bring it up. So first, let me get this one here. All right, not a great picture, but a good picture. And then we will go back to you for the Mark IV. Separate transmitter, separate receiver. Not a transceiver, but a throwback to the early 60s and the 50s and 40s, what one would do to get on the air. You would find a receiver of note, whether it matched your transmitter manufacturer or not. A lot of the early ham radio guys, you had a Helicopter's receiver with a night kit transmitter or something like that, unless you had the money to buy a Collins transmitter receiver. Browning did it for you. I know you can use the receiver with different transmitters, because I used to talk to a guy way back when that was running the receiver, the Browning receiver with an E.F. Johnson transmitter. He said he liked the sound of the transmitter better, but he liked the sound of the receiver better. But Sean has the real deal here, so take a transmission over.
Yeah, mine's all original, and the old guy that gave it to me, he was real proud of it. He said, boy, when you key this up, everyone's going to know who you are. And that's a real nice radio. It's a good tape. He gave me an amplified D104 Silver Eagle microphone that he had with the radio as well.
Now, there's a Golden Eagle and a Silver Eagle. So does that, like the Golden Eagle, have the eagle on the back of the D104 head?
20. Yeah, exactly. So I'm all eagled out. Harvey gave me the official Browning Eagle Club pin. I got that displayed here along with the original owner's manual and the Silver Eagle microphone with it.
All right, and 20, I got you. We'll get to you here in a second. I'm going to go back to the control room because you mentioned the Eagle. So I have one. It's on the desk here. It's right here. The Browning Eagle member logo. Yeah, put it right over my face. That's perfect. I like that. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if you have something. I'm trying to think where I got that. I don't know if it was Harvey or Paul maybe. And I found the picture, and let me bring it up here on the video, from Michael Lee. And there's the radio side by side. Much better. The radio is on. You can see the red lights on the dial selected. You can see the nice flying eagle on the receiver speaker, and then back over. Oh, okay, here's a question. And they changed things. You've still got the analog readout dial on the transmitter, I take it, but on the receiver. But on the transmitter, at least on the one we're showing here, it's a digital readout. Is yours the same way?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at the picture. That's exactly what my radio looks like. The Eagle's the exact same size. It's on the speaker, and everything appears to be the same. I know they made a 4A, and that was multiple plates on it. And I don't think that one was made at the actual factory. I know when I look at the back of this Mark IV, and I look at the back of the barbecued Mark III, they do have the same exact stamp made at the factory there. So I know this radio was made there.
Yeah, I'm comparing the two pictures. The one from Michael Lee's got the Golden Eagle Mark IV, and the one I was originally showing, let me pull that up. Yeah, it has the like the silk screen badge over the top, and it says the Mark IVA is not on, but it looks like it has a digital display. Sounds good. I like the way you have it. Not overdone with the audio. The ping is acceptable. I'm wearing headphones, so I'm not cringing with the super long ping, but I suppose you could make it do whatever it is that you want. It is sounding good, and I will mark it down as, oops, I haven't even marked it in yet. I will mark it down as radio number 5 tonight. So doing a good job. And I'm glad that we have a good, clear frequency tonight. Over.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I like the ping as well. I got a real kick out of that custom one that Harvey made for the feller back east. That was hilarious. How it sounded like a sparrow, and then it sounded like an eagle just literally dying. So, yeah, this one's somewhere in between.
Yeah, as they say, the eagle has landed. It has landed tonight on the old Tired Tube Radio Network here in Fresno, California, beaconing across the Central Valley and everywhere, thanks to the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net. The video link up. We enjoy our listeners that join us from wherever they might be and let us know what they're doing with their radios and give us some interesting information to help us out here, help our tube radio operators achieve tubiness. One more transmission back to you, Sean. I always enjoy when it's just a full, quieting, nice, clear signal. So I don't want to waste it. Go ahead.
Yeah, one more interesting thing is the microphone is in mint condition, and the guy had given me the microphone within a big long sock, probably from the 80s, and he'd split it so it kind of covers the whole base of it too. And so I put the sock on it when I'm done every Saturday night. Thanks for the time tonight, Dennis.
Yeah, who was it? It was Richard. He used to say you put a sock. That was what he reckoned. He said, put a sock over that thing. Put a sock in that microphone. So that works out good. So when you're shopping for socks, you got to make sure you get the Argyle that matches the radio that you're using. Thanks for Radio 5, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV on the Old Tube Radio Network. Jingle Singers are coming up next, and Harvey, don't go away, because we'll be chatting with you after this.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
And not only did someone say Fresno, but they said wonderful Fresno. Now if that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is. Hello, Harvey.
Oh, you were talking about moron, and here I am. Okay. I adjusted the frequency, and I bet you it's too high now. Anyway, another person on messaging me asked if I didn't provide a mic, would it sound as good with like his mic, whatever he had. And so I told him I'll even put on an amplified, because that's what I have, dynamic mic. This is a Turner Custom Special 1, and it's just barely opened. Anyway, these are the gold kind of plus 3B mics. And I picked some up because I thought they'd go good with the gold Brownings. So I have several of them, and they do look good with it, but they all go with radios. Anyway, this is a dynamic amplified mic, and then I also put on a amplified D104 with its standard crystal or ceramic cartridge in it, and then I did the hand mic, which is the General CM3 mic, hand mic with its standard cartridge. Okay, there we go.
All right, beautiful. Put you up on the OR band meter there, and I'm not a big fan of the plus threes. I mean, they do well what they do, but they amplify a lot of the low mid, so it tends to give the audio more of a boxy feel to it. So, of course, the D104 with the amplification turned way down sounds nice. The hand microphonium sounds nice. So if someone has a, in the drawer, I don't know, little Motorola microphone or something, they would probably be very surprised, assuming there's not a impedance mismatch going on. And believe it or not, Harvey, I went to the Zero Beat Theater, pressed the button, and you were right there. I didn't have to tune it at all. If I go a little bit high, whoop, I go a little bit low, whoop. So you are right on. I would not touch a thing on the frequently.
Roger. Unfortunately, the radio will go one way or the other. Okay. Well, the show's still on. I have to answer something on the on my phone, but there are two people who kind of keep asking, and I made the mistake of saying I have 4 of these. Well, let me look. This one does 5 3/4 to 18 on the low, 14 to 35 on the high. And let's see what I got here. The other 2 are comparable. And I might get rid of one of the other 2. I got to keep this other one. The reason is the serial number on all the 11s and the 11As all start with the number 11. They are 6-digit numbers, and this one particular one that I'm going to keep is 110033, which might indicate it's the 33rd one off the production line. And I might sell the other one, because I got 2 people. Anyway, possibly a 3rd. Anyway, I'll turn it back to you. Chris has been patiently waiting in his new kitchen, so I'll turn it back to you, and I got to get back on the phone.
All right, well, we did get Chris on his general radio telephone suit for MC11A, and I have the back badge. And you are correct. Everett says MC11 or MC11A. The serial number is there, and it definitely shows an 11. And the one we have is 0149. So at least we know they sold 149 of them. And me being SWL 33, I mean 33 is a good number. You gotta keep that as well. All right, thanks Harvey for that. But it sounds good. Any microphonium that you've had on it so far has sounded fine. There wasn't any like, oh, you need to do this or need to fix that. They're all loud. They're all good. So it's one of those things, because the radio is pretty decent fidelity. Pretty decent. It's very good fidelity. So the operator needs to find the microphonium or the audio setting that fits their style of how they want to sound, and that radio will certainly produce it for you. All right, is it Jingle Singer time? Not yet. They said, let me stand by, see if there's anybody who wants to take a transmission before we start counting and mounting on your old tube radio network.
WRL 60.
And hello, Joe. I've got you in the number 6 position. And we will go back to you, and I've got the Rolodex ready. Tell me what you got over.
Well, Dennis, she's all warmed up and ready to go. I had a little company here, but they left. Doggone it, so we're going to get at least 2 radios in there for sure. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Johnson. Blackface T00.
Nickname the Blackface. I don't think that any E.F. Johnson advertisement ever, they're professional. They want to call it the number that it is, but I don't think they ever referred to it as a Blackface. But everybody who had that radio, that's what it was. It's the Blackface. It's the silver one, the white face, no. It's the 223, no. It's the TWO Blackface. Sounding good as always. Always nice to have company, but I'm glad they were gracious enough to jump out so you could get into the air chair a little bit. Otherwise, we would have missed you. Go ahead.
Well, doggone it, Dennis. No, we weren't going to let you do that. We were going to try to at least check this one in. If not, we got another one warming up there. 10 tubes, Dennis. 10 tubes, 10 stations on this one. And we are talking on a gray base D104.
Okay, really good microphone for that. I think that's, for all the ones I hear, the D104 microphone's really good for that with no problem. Looking to see if I can get another photo up for the TWO, but we all know what they look like, and more importantly, we know they sound pretty good. So I take another transmission. I'm in the mood here to do a frequency check.
Okay.
Doggone it, not much, not like I say, not much of a radio to look at.
You got 4 dials on it, and you've got a hidden light there in the background behind the screen there, the little neon light there that turns on that we are on the air at least. No meters, nothing else to show except for a volume, a squelch, a fine-tuning channel there, and of course your ABC channel knob there. So like I say, it's not a spectacular radio to look at, but yes, a few lights on there lets us know that it's broadcasting.
Exactly. When you know, that's an interesting thing you say, because when you look at the E.F. Johnson amateur transmitters, they were actually, they weren't, works of art, but they actually were pretty cool looking radios with, they had more knobs, but they weren't super fancy. But I think when they went to 11 meters, they might have thought, I don't know about this 11 meter thing, so let's make the utility radio, because that's what this is supposed to be. We don't make it difficult. You don't need a meter. You don't need to throw anything in. And both these radios, the white face and the black face that you're running, were made for either base or mobile, because you could buy it with a transformer for 110 volts, 120 volts, or for 6 volts or 12 volts. So they kept it simple in that way, so that you turn it on, leave it on the channel you want, and make your communication. And I think as things went along, and they sold a lot of the radios, and the radios were built well, here comes 1968, and they come out with the 223, where they say, doggone it, as you would say, and I would say, and as they would say, doggone it, why don't we have a 23-channel radio with a meter? Because Courier does, and Pace does, and Midland does, and Tram does. So I think they were forced to go into the big time. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I'll agree with you, Dennis. I'll agree with you. This is it's a radio you put on your table or on top of your refrigerator. It could be identified as a radio for music, a radio maybe for broadcasting like we're doing, or in a shop somewhere where you didn't have that fancy looking radio. You had a piece of equipment that would get you out, do what you had to do, and people would come back to you and say, yes, I got the message.
Exactly, and their advertisements was always like a business guy with the radio on the desk, or a farmer or something like that with the radio on a tractor or in a car. So it was very, we're making a radio for utility. It wasn't you're sitting, and again, it wasn't made for that. It wasn't you're sitting around having a hobby, idle chit-chat communications, because that was illegal according to the FCC. But we won't mention that. We are having some good chit-chat here on a radio designed in the early 1960s, but playing well into the 21st century. It's Radio 6, the Messenger TWO from E.F. Johnson. Take a transmission, and thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it, it's always a pleasure to key this particular radio up, and
I hear you.
There for sure. I really enjoy it. Like I say, it's not a fancy looking radio, but yeah, it's strictly business. Okay, Dennis, I'll get out of here, and I've got one more.
All right, I think, and I could be dreaming here. Thank you, Joe. I think I just heard Dwayne. I think I just heard SWL 30 over.
Down there. I'd already shut all the tube stuff off.
Wow, yeah, you were down to S3 and S9, so we're getting a little bit, and we've got our first really warm day. When we have those nice warm evenings, these things happen. Anyway, you are sounding good, and you get the official check-in. I'll bring it back up over.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, put me in there. Yeah, I turned off all the tube stuff because we weren't getting conditions.
Boy, no, sounding good now. And the nice thing is a lot of people go away at night. I mean, where this during the day, you'd be hearing Southern California, Northern California. I don't know where the band is truly open right now, but right now it sounds great. Over.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of SoCal in here. Earlier this evening, we had all the East-West drop down, and then we just had Virginia and a lot of the northern stuff in. But anyway, I'll let you get back to the net. 73s, and have a good evening.
All right, I just brought the DX map up, and indeed, there are some numbers. There are some numbers up in the frequencies here and heading up into Oregon and Idaho. So you are riding the wave, and who needs a map? Who needs a map when you've got Dwayne at the microphonium to let you know that, yeah, the map is correct. Thanks, you're checked in, sounding good. Hopefully you can catch the replay.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. All right, 73s from number 10 and 30. Have a good evening, and we will be talking again. Next time it'll be on tubes.
All right, good deal. Yeah, S7, nice audio. Tell Chrissy thanks for the recipe. We always enjoy her taking the extra time to do that. The Old Tube Radio Network. And we are, I'm counting and amounting, but we're looking for Radio 7.
60.
All right, 60. Hello, radio. I am getting back to the control room here. I was just doing my little Old Tube Radio happy dance. You heard Dwayne checking in there from Idaho. Sounded like he was driving down Highway 41, huh? And go ahead, Joe. We're going to put you as Radio 7 over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it. We're going to take this coffee table radio and put it on the airway. Dennis, I'd like to check in from World Radio Labs, my Hustler base. This radio here, I would probably have on my coffee table while I was drinking a little coffee and listening to the airway.
Well, and we were talking about rack handles on radios and, utility, but here we go. Globe, WRL, I think they were a little bit into the system more, thinking, you know what, these radios are not sitting in the shop. They're on the kitchen table, they're on the living room table, and when we mentioned this before, when Jackie Gleason or Red Skelton goes off, or Ed Sullivan at 9 o'clock, guess what people do? They don't go to their phones, they don't get on the internet. They go to their social media of radio. So you got to make the radio look like it belongs in the living room, right? And this one certainly does. Sounding good. Take another transmission. World Radio Labs Hustler, over.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it would be on my coffee table, that's for sure. And like I say, listening to the guys and see what's going on the band. And in between times there, when I didn't have the TV on, I'd have the radio. I don't know if you've seen those coffee tables that have that drop drawer that out pops the ham radio. Really neat to look at, but that'd be similar to this one here. Wouldn't be in the way of anything else, my magazines or my coffee or anything like that. It just fit right into the rear of the table. Wouldn't take up much space, and doggone it, we'd enjoy the evening listening to fellas chat.
Indeed. I apologize to the viewers for thinking, what is he doing? I'm trying to find that beautiful radio. There it is. And there it is. Zenith made, it was called a chair-side radio. It was a shortwave receiver built into a piece of furniture exactly like you described, like an end table. And you could look down, and there's a little drawer or door you opened up, and the big shutter dial was there, and the speaker was in the front, and they knew it. You know, people were sitting around listening to the old radio shows, so why not make it a true piece of furniture? I don't recall that anybody did that with the CB radio. Of course, you know, Tram came close with the oak cabinets and some of the other guys, but never. And they had some that looked like telephones, but never, from what I recall, was a CB radio built into some piece of furniture. But I think they missed the boat on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's an idea, Dennis. It's an idea because, I mean, you know, the radio is part of one's life. The way I see it, you know, if you're all alone in the world there, you've got a companion, and that's your CB radio.
Indeed. I think that's one reason while the Old Tube Radio Network has been going here for quite some time, because we get that feel that you talk about that was when you were on, you know, in the 60s and 70s. It's a little different than it was, you know, when it really took off in the 70s and 80s, and a little bit more family friendly. And thanks to our operators and shortwave listeners, that is conveyed here every Saturday. You are radio number 7, Take a Transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Oh, thank you, Dennis, for letting me key this one up there. She's been warming up a while, and it's a good little radio. It's not a noisy radio. It just responds when you start working it. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot there, and we appreciate it.
All right. Likewise, me too. I appreciate all the stations that take the time to stop by. Counting and amounting, it is 12 minutes after the hour. A lot of stations staying up into Sunday morning, or some of the stations started early Sunday morning when they began listening. The jingle singers will do what they do best. If I get the cue, yes, I do, and we'll be back in a moment to see what we did tonight.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
I still hear you over. All right, which radio is that? Which radio is that? All right, wait for the conditions to come back in. I think we've got a radio here. I'm standing by. Waiting for the conditions to pick up. I want to see what radio you are on. Sounds like it might be the Robin, but I'm not sure. Standing by, over. Right. Trying to get my key to work. Testing OTR. Do we have conditions? Over. You know, Sean Harvey is probably on the telephonium. That's why. Dragging my feet here, see if we can get that one little skip condition back from Idaho. But that's how it is on the sporadic E. It's a lot like 6-meter contacts, where somebody will be 20 over for 5 minutes, and then they are gone, and the little cloud, the little DX cloud, is off to somewhere else. All right, I'll do a sign-off here but I will take occasional stops in my audio, so see if we can't pick up Dwayne here. What did we do tonight?
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
Hey, Dennis.
Yeah, what radio have you got there? Sounding good, over.
T123B, hello.
All right, I was dragging my feet because I knew it would come up, and it's sounding good, and we needed another radio, over.
Well, you got one. I got a lot of background in here, but I fired it up. I just couldn't resist.
Man, and that sounds better than what you were on before, I'm pretty sure. Robin T123 Bravo doing a good job. The conditions came up, over.
Well, of course it is. It's a tube radio, and it's Chrissy's.
All right, you know what? I think Harvey's on the telephone. Harvey's on the telephone, so he's missing this. I'll tell him he definitely needs to be on the replay so he can get the Watt 4 from the guys up north, over.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him last week there. Yeah, I know this is overdone. Ooh. All right. Hey, I'll catch you in a bit. I got to figure out what's going on here. We'll see you listening.
All right, you're good to go. Good S7, S8, I think, on the meter. We got you checked in, and you will be radio number 8 on the Robin T123 Bravo. So I wonder if the guys on 38 sideband are getting some conditions too. Ah, okay, he's back.
Who's back? Me? I was on the phone.
Yeah, we surmised that. Did you hear Dwayne? He just checked in on his Robin from Idaho.
Ah, are you kidding? Was it on the stream type deal or actual on the radio?
No, like in a signal that's about the same as you. I mean, he was like S7, S8.
Oh, dang it. I missed it. Tell him to do it again.
In fact, when he checked in, he wasn't on a tube radio, and we had conditions long enough that he was able to warm up the radio and come back.
Well, darn.
Whoa.
I wonder if he could do it again. Whoops. There we go. I wonder if he could do it again.
Yeah, careful. That sounds better. You got a big buzz on the hum. I'm thinking, we were not getting smoke over there.
Nah, I gave up smoking. I don't know if Dwayne can hear me.
We're getting 6-meter conditions where it comes in for about 1 minute and goes away and it comes back up. So there may be one more roller coaster ride left out of this.
Okay. Well, I'll stick around then. Oh, check my Browning Golden Beagle R68 T68 by Browning Lavatories. Custom D104 with the medallion on the back of the head of the microphonium. This is a series, whatever it is. The one with the on-air light and the 3-position RF gain type switch.
Okay, I believe that is the Series 2, according to my notes. The Beagle has landed 1967 to 1968, still under $400 for that radio. So the R27, S23s, and those sort of the last of the affordable Brownings before prices went up and things started going overseas. The Browning Golden Eagle Series 1 transmitter, the Spotlight. Some receivers have variable RF gain. Others have a 3-position switch for RF gain. Operators, you had an optional wood cabinet, which you don't have, and the speaker, which you don't have. But we don't care.
Well, even if I had them, they wouldn't be in here. There's no room.
You need a bigger radio room.
I'm just happy I'm in the house.
Yeah, that has worked out quite well, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would have been 103 degrees or more in the radio room over there, outside in the shed. Even with the air conditioning on in there, it still is about 100 on days like this. So I like the fact that it's cooler in here, even with these radios on.
Good deal. All right, I'm going to do some counting and amounting and wrap it up. But the band is open. The DX map was actually showing some conditions. Still trying to find it. If they're fading though, not as many. So we might have passed our little uptick, but you never know. So if you're hanging around, you might hear somebody. All right, I'm standing by. Thanks for radio number 9.
Okay, well, it's been a long day. You could sit by. And that person that texted me that said they couldn't call me on that phone, I'll be up, so call me tonight if you're listening. All right, back to you, Dennis.
All right, back to me in the studio. Do we want to take? I'm asking. Yeah. Do we want to take a take 2 on the jingle singers? Yes, we do. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals here at the Old Tube Radio Network. And again, I'll stop occasionally just so we have some conditions. We might get another radio. SWL tonight, we had a total of 71, 18 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 13 on page 3, and 23 on page 4. We are in week 6 of the 8-week roster. Mother's Day coming up tomorrow. So you know what that means. You know what that means. So do what you have to do, and do it correctly, so you'll get some of those motherly points. Radios, we had 9 tonight, and I'm going to take a break here. From radios from near and far out, the most heard manufacturer, and I think this is the second week in a row, was the General Radio Telephones, believe it or not, with 2. Started off with Cliff on his Courier 23, nice sounding radio. The Cobra Cam 88 followed that up, not to be outdone. For the 2 great, really nice, full fidelity audio radios back to back, the Courier 23, the Cobra Cam 88 from Sean out in Sanger, sounding really good. So yeah, we have skip conditions, but not the kind that cover people up, the kind that we want to hear, the kind that can check in, that want to check in, the kind that don't complain that we're covering up skip land, right? You don't get complaints like that. Harvey came in on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11. With some various microphoniums, all sounding good. They all sound good. Radio number 4, Chris on his General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Radio number 5 was the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV, Sean out in Sanger. Radio number 2, still doing good. And I can't believe my antenna is so low, and I can hear those radios so well. So good transmitters. Joe, 6 and 7, the radios he had were the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO and the WRL Hustler. I'm listening for some DX. Yeah, I think the band is gone, but you never know. And then, as we predicted, as we portended at the beginning of the net, out of the blue, as he often does, we have a pipeline, we really do, between Central California and where Dwayne is in Idaho. Here he comes on the Robin T123B with a great signal. It's on the replay if you want to hear that Robin. And he took the time to warm it up, 2 to 5 minutes from when the band opened up, and made it in just in time. The T123B from SWL 30. And then, as you heard just moments ago, the Beagle, the Browning Golden Eagle from Browning Lavatories, the R68 T68, sounding good on your Old Tube Radio Network. And so with that, I will say good evening. Thanks to those who stayed up late with us tonight. If you're watching the replay, you can get on the air wherever you are and have a great time. So do it, won't you? And if you're studying for your ham radio license, keep doing so, because we want to talk to you. We might get something going on 10 meter AM, catch you on one of the other bands. It should be a cool thing, so do it. Or get the upgrade. We will talk to you next week, the Old Tube Radio Network. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and I will say 73 from Old Tube Radio Net Control. Over.
Thanks, Dennis, and good night.
Indeed, and Levon, you don't see the part, you know, when I switch to the Orban meter, and then Charles and Chet sort of wheel me out of here like a wet noodle. But anyway, I had a good time as always. Over. And who is it? 87.9 Archives and Oddities. Now, the station that I work for is at 88.1. So we never quite get down to 87.9. I think our deviation is cut off so that we don't mess up the 87.9 guys. But for Archives and Oddities, this is definitely the place to be for 11 meters. Good night, everybody.
73.
Good show, Dennis.
Yeah, it's always nice when we get a full complement of radios from all over the place.
K6VLF, downtown Fresno, rooftop.
Jumper.
There we go. This is SWL40 checking in from the rooftop.
All right, say that exact same thing again, over.
This is SWL40 checking in from the Chinatown rooftop, looking at the glorious sight of downtown Fresno.
Yeah, there he is. There he is, checking in from downtown Fresno. We will make that 72 SWLs tonight. And if there were any glorious sights to be seen, he would be seeing them from that location. Perfect timing, Larry. We had just signed out here, but everything is still up, so you are checked in. Over.
Roger. Yeah, I took a nap, and I woke up just in time
Yeah,
to
that was really
experience
cool, Dwayne,
cool
making that
air.
trip from Idaho.
K6USY.
All right, KP6GFT. I'm back to the other radio typo.
Larry. Hey there, Aaron 52.
All right, stand by 1.
Very good, very good. Yeah. Well, and then, how high is the antenna?
Well, the vertical is about 8 feet off the top of my roof, and the horizontal loop is about 6 or 7 feet off the top of my roof. And I'm in a new neighborhood out here on the west side, and there's no big trees around me, so I got pretty good clear line of sight.
Oh, cool, cool. Looking over here west of me, and I've seen some strange lights coming from